All right, welcome to my channel. My name is Dr. Luke Duke, and today I just want to show you some basic Premiere Pro editing techniques that I use. I am not a pro. I've picked this up through YouTube videos, self-learning. So if there's something that I'm doing wrong or the long way, shoot me a message in the comment section. All right, so I'm just going to create a new project and kind of work through that. So I'm going to click New Project. Go ahead and save it. And I will put it into where I'm making it. All right. So project name, location, go ahead and click Create. And now, here is the Premiere Pro basic outline. Before I continue, I just want to show you my folder. So anytime I make a video, this is kind of how I establish every video. I have assets. This will be like images of the person's logo or some other images. Music, sound effects will be in here. I make notes for the video. Here's the project file I just created. If I'm going to do a thumbnail, create a thumbnail folder, and then here are all the videos that I will bring into Premiere Pro and edit. So highly recommend. I use two screens, so I'm going to move this over to my other screen so you can't see it, but it's so much easier to do that. All right, so back to Premiere Pro. First thing is to make sure you kind of have the same setups I do. I like to go to Workspace, click on Windows, Workspaces, and click on Reset to Save Layout. Usually that goes to like a default setting. I'm going to close this window. And you notice there's a few things that were missing. So just go back to Window, click Effects. And that will bring in this effects down here in the bottom left. And then click on Window and Effects Controls, which brings it right here. Okay, so this is Source. These are where we're going to bring in the files. And you'll see here how we can change some of the videos with effect controls. And then the last one is Essential Graphics, which is over here. These are where you can get like free titles and templates to pop into your timeline down here. Okay, so I like to use this. This is default. Some people actually, you could change these windows and move them. You have multiple screens. You can have your timeline on one screen. I just kind of like to keep it like this, so I always have the same setup. Now what we're going to do is all of the videos that you're going to work with to edit, you're going to drag these. And you want to make sure that the source is clicked. So drag it and drop. And it's going to bring all those files into Premiere. And you click on this little button tab here and you can find all of the sources. So this is how I do how I do it. I just drag them in. I'll go through it. I'll chop them up, move them to my timeline, and then edit. Okay? Now, sometimes these videos are long, so what you can do is you can click this, left click, and you can go shorter, and you can kind of go, it makes the video go much slower in time, like slow motion. So you can look to see and grab what you want. And usually if it's like sometimes I've 8 to 10 hour stream, 8 hours of video, if you do this and you can scroll, it's just much quicker to edit, to grab what you need and bring it into the timeline. Okay, so you could drag this and move this over. So keep going over. So here it's not too long, so I can make this a little bit bigger. Let's see what's going on here. So I'm going to just keep finding what I want by just keep clicking over. And right there. So I noticed something happened. I'm going to get it right probably there. I'll get it so it starts the rogue about right there. So then I'm going to click on the mark in, and then I'm going to find where I want it to end, probably right there, for the explosion. Boom, right, probably there. That's pretty good. Then I'll hit the mark out. Now I'm going to left click and drag it to our timeline, and then let go, and then you can drag this over here. And this is now the video that we're working on. Okay, this is what we're going to make. So you can do, I'm going to do some things here so you can see what's happening. Excuse me. So if you click on this now, make this a little bit bigger, click effects controls, and this is where you can do a whole bunch of stuff with. You can scale it up. So like you can make it bigger, smaller, whatever you want. Okay. You can left click and drag. I'm going to just go back to 100. Now say you want it to start out small, like this small. Well, you want to left click toggle animation. So it's going to start at 13% and say at the end, okay, I found the end by just using the arrow key. Or if you want, you can click and zoom right in here and find, you can make this a little bit smaller. So here, I want to make it back to 100, okay? And it will automatically add this like point in time. You see this mark right here? And then this mark, that's at 13, and this is 100. So it's going to kind of do like a linear regression. Okay, so I'm going to zoom this out again so you can see. So now if I play, see how that kind of zooms in and out? So you can do some cool things with that. Position is just like you can start this off at a different position and then click play and it'll kind of start out like that. All right. Again, rotation, you can change the opacity. So let's say at the beginning, let's say we want it to be like 0%. You click this, then you can drag it to the right. And let me zoom back in so I know it's at the end right there. And say I want it to be 100%. And now, if I watch this, it kind of zooms right in to different colors. So sometimes maybe you want it to be really bright or something. You can add brightness to it. Okay, so let me see. I'm going to type in brightness right there. So down here, you're going to click Effects Controls, which right now is open. Type in brightness, and you're going to left click and drag this right onto that clip in your timeline. Now, if you notice, look, it added this into Effects Controls. So say we want it to be not very bright, but then at the end, we want it to be bright. Okay, so let's put it. Let's do 80. 79, let's do 80. Okay, so now it created those two. So now if we watch this again, it kind of gets brighter as it goes on. So you can do brightness, all these cool things that you can do. All right. Now let's go back. So we're done with this one. So I'm going to close just this one. So I know I'm done with that. Now let's look for another one. So I'm just kind of going through here. Let's see what we got. Oh, right there. Perfect. We'll get it so it's right there. We'll start it right there. And then we'll move it till the end. Boom, right there. And we'll stop. Drag this over. And now with this, we click on it, go back to Effects Controls. Let's make this go slow at the start. See, right there. Oh, right there. So I'm going to kind of do it along. There's probably a quicker way, but sometimes I do this. I'm going to about right there. I'm going to start speeding up. So on my Mac, I hit Control K, and what we'll do is it'll cut that clip for me. So I don't have to. I can cut it right there in the timeline. It's cool. I believe, I'm not sure. I bet you it might be Control K on a Windows. I'm not 100% sure. Then I'm going to go a little bit more, speed it up again. I split it up, and right there, that's pretty good. I'm going to move these. So I'm going to move those out of the way. Let's do 50. And it made it a little bit bigger. Okay. Then let's do 100. And let's make this at 150. So the smaller the number, the slower motion it's going to go. This will get bigger. So just be careful that you move those out of the way. So it starts out slow, goes fast, and speeds up. All right. Now there is another way, but for now I think this is good for you to get the basics. Okay. Now sometimes you want to unlink. See how this is linked together? Sometimes if you right click and you say unlink, then you can delete the sound if you want. Okay. Or say you're editing and you cough, you can chop that sound off. Okay, so there's no sound, then sound. So you can unlink things like that. Now, you notice when I left click here, see how it snaps? I believe if you accidentally hit S, it won't snap anymore on your keyboard. So hit S and it will snap back on to place. Okay, so if it's not snapping, just hit S. Now, so I'm going to put this clip together with this clip, and I'm going to right click and say apply default transition. So that kind of does a, I use that quite often. It's a cross kind of dissolve. I use that pretty frequently. You can get different transitions from like motion array, but you have to subscribe. There is a few in here, like if you go to video transitions, dissolve, like I don't know. Let's pick. Let's do wipe or slide or something. So, oh, here we go. See how it kind of slides in now? So that's a transition there. So these are the free ones from Premiere Pro, but you can get what they call presets, which I like glitch. Like if I drag this over here, it kind of makes it into, well, you can't really see it because the opacity, but let's put glitch into that one. See how it makes a glitch transition? So you can get those from Motion Array and different online. I'll put some links in the description so you can see what you want. But that is pretty cool how it transitions into that. Okay. Slide. You can also get music and put in there. So I also have some music. So if I'm going to grab the music here and make sure you got to click source. So drag the music in here. And then what you want to do is you want to grab the sound bar here, left click, and you can put it right here. So sound will go from like A's below, and video is like V and up. So say you want to add another track, you right click and say add track. And this is where you can put on, for example, like if I go to assets, I have 2 of Ryan's logo, so I can drag that right in and it adds the logo. And say I want to move that, I'm going to make it smaller and I want to move it over there and down to the right. Okay, there. Okay, so I can always have that on the screen over there to the right. All right, you can put it up here, keep your timeline clean. Music goes down here. So I've added some music now. All right, got some transitions in there, combination of things. You could also like if you notice like this, the top, whatever's on top will be on top. So like if you move this video up here and I move this behind it, it's going to be behind that. So whatever's on top is the one that's going to take charge. Okay. You could again add sound effects. Sound effects will go down here again if you want to add more tracks. Like if you want to add more music on top of sound effects, images, videos. Okay, now over here, Essential Graphics. And click Adobe Stock and click Free. Oops, so titles. These are free, so you can grab these. So like I grab, left click, drag, and put it in my titles. It may take a second to load. All right, I'm going to make this smaller. So here's the title. I might put that like at the start. So now if I play it, that's the title. Whoops. Probably have to make it bigger because it's a preset thing that they have. So I'll put it here. I'm going to zoom out. Wow, I probably don't need that, so I can cut that down. And then move this over. And now you have like a title at the start. You can put some sound effects on there. There, you got this starting. The rendering is slow because these titles and these transitions take up some RAM on my Mac, and sometimes I try to avoid that if I have to, or I'll do that at the end. There is a workaround. Again, I'm not very good at that, but I just kind of use what I have right now. Or here's another cool little thing that I'll show you. Say on Ryan's logo we want it to move from like left to right. So let's start it right there. So we're going to click position. And we're going to start it, let's start it right there. Let's go down. And say by the end of the clip here, we're going to have it go over there. Okay? So that is how you get like an image or something to move in Premiere Pro. Pretty cool. Okay? You just have to make sure you click this toggle button. All right, here is another thing that you want to watch out for is when you bring an image or a video clip in, if you notice here on the screen, this picture actually is not the entire frame. So what you want to do is you want to right click on it and say scale to frame, and then it actually fits to the frame. Sometimes you have to do that depending on your frame size, your initial clips that you bring into your timeline. So say you're done with the video, you're done with the editing, you like it, you can go to File, Export Media, and then you can pick like the source that you want. I mean, there's more options you can pick. I usually just kind of match the source, or I do 1080p, or if you're doing 4K, you can do that. I usually match the source most of the time. Change your name here. This is where you change it, and then just click Export. Okay. And make sure you click your location. Usually I should have another folder called versions, and this is where I put in my versions. Like I could say Ryan version 1. Then click save and then export. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. I don't need to export. Okay. Well, let me just export and click cancel. There we go. Okay. All right. Now, a few other things that you want to do. So I'm gonna save this. Okay, and then I'm gonna quit. Okay. Now down here, there's two things I want to show you, and then I'll end the video. There's this cool thing called 4K Video Downloader. Highly recommend downloading it. It's free. And say you're looking at a YouTube video or some sort of video online and you want to take like a snippet of it and use it, you can basically open this up. You click this. This opens up this file. You copy the link, like say on YouTube, and you just click paste, and then it will actually download the video for you. Okay? So that's very important. And say your Premiere is kind of acting slow on a Mac, you can click, hold on, let me check here. I believe it's Option. If you hold Option as you're opening Premiere Pro, just keep holding Option until a window will pop up saying, do you want to reset settings and preferences? That will help sometimes reset Premiere and will run a little bit faster. On a Windows, I believe it is Alt. Okay, so now this popped up on my other window, so you can clear all of this stuff. Continue, and it will clear it, and it'll reopen. So it kind of clears everything up so you're ready to go. Okay, so this is what I have. This is how I edit. If there are faster ways, if I'm doing something the long way, shoot me a message or tag a YouTube video in the comments. And for those that are new, I hope this helps. And good luck. Thank you. Bye now.